Well, let's do the I weekend. And Rishi Sunak has been accused of setting us back on net zero, so he can't be all bad, Lewis.
Well, you know what? I couldn't even read the thing because normally I know people think, oh, he doesn't read the stories. I read most of the story. It's basically the guy who is this Chris Stark, is head of climate watchdog, and he says the UK is seen around the world as being less ambitious about climate change. And as we all know, it's complete bogus, this whole climate change. So whatever Rishi Sunak wants to do to stop it.
And for balance, Leo, do you believe in
Well, I think Rishi's walking back some of the climate change pledges, because the trouble with political pledges is they're made in a sort of haze of idealism.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we're going to do away with all cars and all roads and all trees and telegraph poles and tarmac and everything. And, we'll do it in 3 months. And it's like, well, and then you get mugged by reality. So the reality is that, electric car take-up is really tailed off because they just don't suit everybody. If you need to drive long distances, like I was gigging in Portsmouth and Bournemouth last night, so I had to drive down to both of them and then drive home. So I couldn't do that in an electric car because it would run out of electricity somewhere between Portsmouth and Bournemouth and require 8 hours to charge.
You don't want to be there. And
so,
isn't there a lack of charging stations as well?
There's a lot. We don't have the infrastructure, and we should really just be allowing the market to do it. Instead of across Europe, they're sinking €1 trillion into pushing net zero. But really, what it's doing is sort of instituting this sort of authoritarian, soft communism that controls every aspect of people's lives. So, like 15-minute cities, for example, where you get fined if you drive out of your area too many times. And
I've always thought this is one of the few things Sunak's right on. Rolling back net zero, in a more sensible way, saying we're still going to do it, which I don't agree with anyway, but we're still going to do it, but more moderately, not impoverish people. Even Tony Blair is against this stuff because China just constantly opening coal plants every day, and we're going, oh no, emissions. It's all nonsense. Even Blair says, look, we have tiny emissions anyway. We should focus on financial services. We can help the developing world with that kind of thing. That's where we're strong. We're apparently the second in the world for professional and financial services. But we're rubbish on this because we're small.
But why should we, as Britons, help the entire world? Screw those people. So we shouldn't help them. And the reason why our carbon rates are going down is because we're outsourcing all the manufacturing. All the dirty stuff is being offshore.
Yeah.
So it's like hypocrisy. The whole thing is a lie. It's a scam.
And also, we've got loads of mountains and it's cold. So climate change, where it gets warmer and the sea levels rise, is going to be good for us. And also, people are always talking about the environment. If the sea levels rise, that's more environment for fishes.
Great point. Pro-fish. That's what we are here.